Questions 16 and 17 deal with exponential equations. What we got to do is we've got to match up, and so remember with the exponential equation, you got y equals a times b to the x. A is called the multiplier. B is the base. So I have a is called a multiplier. And what the multiplier does is it changes the direction of an equation. B is the base. So we have over here, we have a base that is greater than 1, and we have an exponential. Nobody? Growth. If we have a base that's between 0 and 1, if you have a base that's between 0 and 1, so you go 0, base, and then 1, then you have an exponential decay, which brings to mind the next concept that, let's see here, in this problem, I have this one right here, this negative one, must be the one over here that goes the opposite direction. So this negative number right here, this -2, is A because it opens down. But is the -2 the base? No, remember, in exponential equations, we never have a base that's negative. Look, the base is either greater than 1 or the base is between 0 and 1. To get the base to be a negative, you have to add in a -1 as the multiplier. So all A is here is 2 to the x, and it's been flipped. So now what we want to do is match these up with the rest of them. Here in D, E, and F, I guess D, E, and F would be the exponential growth. So there's an exponential growth, there's exponential growth, there's exponential growth. The one that goes up the fastest, which one of the colors up there, which one of the letters up there is the one that goes up the quickest? D. So I guess on 5 to the x, 20 to the x, and 2 to the x, 20 to the x is which one? D. So then E must be 5 to the x, and F must be 2 to the x. So now to get them to go the other way, I have to have exponential decays. Well, in this problem, there are 2 exponential decays. Here's an exponential decay, and there's an exponential decay. So, again, which one, 1/2 or 1/5, which one represents the bigger number? Which is bigger, a half or a fifth? A half is bigger, so I think the one that would go up there would be C, and then B would be a fifth. Over 2, up 25. Wait a minute now. Look at this. I may have these backwards because if I went over 2 and up 20, if I had a negative exponent and I went over 2 and up 25, I believe we got these backwards. So which one was 20 to the x? Because that one goes up faster. Then 1/2 to the x is B, guys. Actually, with a fraction, it's going to work the other way. Because 1/5 to the -2nd, remember, is just 4. Or excuse me, 1/2 to the -2nd is just 4. But when I have 5 in the denominator, and I want to move that 5 to the numerator, I do to the -1st power. So which number ends up being bigger? 2 to the negative, yeah, some of you do. Or 5 to the -1st. See, 5 to the -1st ends up being going up faster. So the 5 to the -1st is C, and then we said 2 was F, and then actually the negative is A. Negative pretty quick to see. There are 529 fish in a breeder's pond. If the growth rate is increasing at 1.06 per year, write an exponential equation to predict the number in 8 years. So y equals, what does it start out with? 529 fish. So right now, that to me it seems like there are 529 fish. If the growth rate is increasing at 1 point, so we start out with 529 times 1 plus. Very good. Got to change that to a decimal. That's going to get us here in a problem later when we have to do a matching. How do you change 0.06% to closest? So 0.006. And then to the T. Or as in this case, to the 8. Or the X. So the question asks that you go y equals 529 times 1.0006 to the X. I'll put that back up. Just hold on a second. Y'all see a calculator somewhere here?
Go to the start icon.
All right, now just put into your calculator, just put in 529, 1.006, and then either the up caret or the little y to the X button. Some of you guys that have the smaller calculators, yeah, you just have to hit a y to the X button. So,
Did you come to the my games?
529 times 1.0.
No, we're not a string. We're just there to make our team look bigger. Just for support. Yeah, that's pretty much all we need.
Guys, let's quit the conversation, please. So it's 531.54. The question says, round your answer to the nearest whole number. So it would be, the nearest whole number would be 532. A house is worth 175,000. It decreases. So it's going down. So now instead of, again, I start out at 175,000. Instead of doing 1 plus r, there's an exponential decay, so I do 1 minus, and then 3%. So write an exponential equation to model this, so that's 0.97 to the 10th. Again, guys, the 0.97, I'm real concerned about these kind of problems on a multiple choice situation. Because if you look at it, in this one up here, you just have to, in the first one, you just have to remember to change 0.06, and you'll see 0.006, and as long as you change that decimal to a fraction right, guys, the numbers that you use would be part of the answer A, B, C, D. In an exponential decay, this 0.97 is going to show up, and it was nowhere in the problem. So you really got to know what you're doing here when you do these. So now I do the 175,000 times 0.97. Again, there is no 0.97 in the problem. You just have to be able to read it and go 1 minus 0.03. Again, I got 0.03 from converting what? 3%. $129,049.22. What's the problem with this situation? Why is it a problem that your house is losing 3% a year? Yeah, and what did you probably take a 30-year mortgage out of? $175,000. You've made 120 payments on $175,000. What you want is that value of that house to increase over that time. So if it increases more than, right, this one decreases, but if it increases more than the percentage, the percentage that you had to borrow the money on, let's say the housing market, yeah, you're making money. Let's say you're able to take a loan out, and the loan that you pay is like 5 or 6%, but over that time, instead of decreasing in value, the housing market has gone up. You're making money. That's good. So while you're paying that mortgage off over 30 years, it's an investment. The problem is right now, it's going the other way. And guys, you're going to have somewhere to live. And so that was a good thing about the housing market, is it was a great place to, there you go. Now all that stuff is blown up in their face a little bit.